You're sitting in the break room. Your coworker, the one who always leans on your desk and talks over you, just made a joke at your expense. It was sharp. It was personal. Everyone laughed. You felt that heat crawl up the back of your neck. You felt your chest tighten. You had a comeback ready. Something mean, something to shut him down, but you hesitated. You let the moment pass. Now, an hour later, you're still seething. You're punching the steering wheel or staring at your monitor, replaying the scene. You're thinking of the perfect line that would have ended him, but you didn't say it, and that silence feels like a defeat. It feels like you're a coward. That feeling you're sitting with right now, it's not because life is unfair. It's not because people suck. It's because you're playing by rules that were designed to make you weak, and in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you how to change that. Here's what we're doing today. I'm going to walk you through the Stoic framework for developing the kind of silence that makes people respect you without saying a word. This isn't philosophy for the sake of sounding smart. This is an operating system, a way to process reality that makes you harder to break, harder to control, and harder to shake. Because here's the truth, most men your age are getting weaker. Not physically, but mentally and emotionally. They're reactive. They're fragile. They need validation, attention, and certainty just to feel okay. They post their frustrations on social media, hoping for a like to soothe their ego. And the world is eating them alive. You don't have to be one of them. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to respond the next time someone tries to test your frame. Not in theory, in practice. But first, we need to talk about the mistake almost everyone makes. The mistake most guys make when they feel disrespected is simple. You think the problem is the other person. You think if you just explain yourself better, or shout louder, or win the argument, the disrespect will stop. You try to earn their respect by proving your worth. But the more you defend yourself, the cheaper you look. You're handing them the remote control to your emotions. If they can make you angry, they own you. The Stoics saw through this 2,000 years ago while surviving exile, slavery, and the weight of empires. They lived by a principle, the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you. Your actions, your judgments, your character. Everything else, other people's opinions, their insults, their jokes, is not up to you. The moment you try to control what you can't, you lose your power. Epictetus was born a slave. He had his leg broken by a master. He had every reason to be the most reactive man in history. Yet he said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is accomplice in the provocation. He realized that no one can hurt your character unless you let them. If you react, you've agreed to be hurt. So ask yourself, are you handing your peace to people who don't even like you? Are you letting a random comment from a stranger or a jab from a peer dictate your mood for the next 4 hours? Let me show you what this looks like in practice. I'm going to break down 4 core lessons. First principle, between the stimulus and your response, there is a space. In that space lies your freedom. Imagine you're in a group text. A friend drops a screenshot or a comment, clearly meant to bait you. Maybe it's about your job or your recent breakup. Your thumb is hovering over the keyboard. You want to fire back, you want to set the record straight. If you text back immediately, you lose. Even if your comeback is clever, you've shown that he has the power to pull a reaction out of you instantly. You've signaled that your peace is fragile. The Stoic move is simple. Wait, don't open the app. Observe the physical sensation. Feel the heat in your chest. That's not you, that's a biological reaction. Choose silence. Not the angry silence of someone pouting, but the deliberate silence of someone who has better things to do. Your lack of reaction creates a vacuum. It makes the other person look desperate for attention. It signals that you are the one in control. Second principle. Events don't hurt us. Our interpretations of them do. You're at the gym. You're working hard. You see a group of guys looking your way, whispering and laughing. The story you tell yourself is that they're making fun of your form, or that they think you're weak. The result is you leave feeling small. Instead, apply objective representation. Strip the event of its adjectives. The fact is 3 people are looking in your direction and talking. Everything else is just an interpretation. Since you can't know, why choose the interpretation that makes you suffer? Third principle. Character is built by the things you do when no one is watching. You've committed to a new routine. 6 a.m. wake up. No scrolling on your phone for the first hour. By day 4 it's raining and you're tired. You think about making it up tomorrow. The Stoic advice tells you to protect your word. If you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't, you are teaching your brain that your word is worthless. Don't negotiate. If the goal was a 3-mile run and you can't do it, put on your shoes and walk to the end of the block. Do not accept a 0. Discipline is a habit of honoring the contract you made with yourself. When you trust yourself, you don't need validation from others. Fourth principle, don't just tolerate what happens, use it. You get passed over for a promotion you deserved. It's unfair. Most guys would spend the next month complaining. They become the bitter guy at the office. The Stoic move is to love this moment. It is the perfect training ground for your character. Accept the reality that the decision is made. Ask how this makes you better. Use the frustration as fuel to sharpen a skill that makes you undeniable. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Here is your drill for the next 48 hours. I call it the 10-second barrier. The next time someone says something that triggers you, whether it's a boss, a girlfriend, or a stranger, you must wait 10 full seconds before speaking. During those 10 seconds, ask yourself if your response is going to improve the situation, or if you are just trying to soothe your ego. If it's just ego, stay silent. If a response is required, speak in a lower, slower tone than usual. Facts only, no emotion. Tonight, open your phone notes and write down what triggered you, if you held the barrier, and how it changed the outcome. Do this tonight. When you've completed your first barrier, come back and comment. Controlled, no context, just proof. Look, I get it. Disrespect doesn't stop stinging just because you watched a video. The world is full of people who will try to pull you out of your frame to make themselves feel bigger. But remember this, you are not your circumstances. You are your response to them. You don't control the weather, the economy, or the mouth of a fool. But you control the man in the mirror. Silence isn't a sign that you have nothing to say. It's a sign that you have nothing to prove. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, and yet he had to tell himself every morning that the people he dealt with would be meddling, ungrateful, and arrogant, but that none of them could hurt him. If the Emperor of Rome needed that reminder, so do you. If this helped you find your footing, subscribe. We drop new training every week for men who want to build a mind that is harder to break. Next video, we're diving into the dichotomy of control, applied specifically to modern relationships. You're going to want to see it. Stay solid. I'll see you in the next one.